Mr. President, I want to ask you about the IRS. Can you assure the American people that nobody in the White House knew about the agency's actions before your counsel's office found out on April 22nd? And when they did find out, do you think that you should have learned about it before you learned about it from news reports, as you said last Friday?
I can assure you that I certainly did not know anything about the IG report before the IG report had been leaked through press, through the press.
Well, it was President Obama speaking a short time ago at a news conference saying he did not personally know about the Inspector General report, not going so far as to say he didn't know about the IRS behavior, and not speaking about what people in the White House knew prior to the IG report. But he didn't say whether, well, he didn't speak to the knowledge within the White House. That reporter also pointed out that the president claims he first learned about the IRS scandal from the news, the same place he said he found out about the controversy of the DOJ spying on the Associated Press. Comedy Central's Jon Stewart had a bit of fun with that.
Mr. President, when did you find out about the IRS targeting conservative groups?
I first learned about it from the same news reports that I think most people learned about this. I think it was on Friday.
Nobody at the office thought to run that one up the flagpole for you prior to the news reporting it? Let's say the acting head of the IRS, who has known about it for about a year. Actually, my favorite part of that soundbite was, I think it was on Friday, I think. What was that day I found out that an incredibly powerful arm of the government may be using its power for coercive political purposes? Let's see, that was, the beer summit with Reverend Wright and Bill Ayers was on Wednesday, and then Thursday was spent listening into Americans' phone calls and randomly firing drone missiles. Where was I when I heard the IRS news? I was at the mosque praying, so yeah, Friday.
Jeez. Joining me now, David Webb, radio talk show host of the David Webb Show, and Julie Roginski, who's a Fox News contributor and former advisor to New Jersey Senator Frank Lautenberg. I mean, you got to laugh. That's because great. That, you know, his point is, and a lot of people feel, it's not plausible that he would just be learning about these major matters from, you know, Fox, CNN. I don't know what he was watching, but he claims he learned it from
maybe
TV.
On a tweet or
you know, either somebody probably should have filled him in on it, and if they didn't, that's pretty shoddy, or he might have known about it earlier, in which case he might have known about it earlier. So either way, it's really not excusable because you're the President of the United States. The buck does stop with you. And I understand this bureaucracy exists to create distance and a scandal between the President and his subordinates, and they're the ones who take the fall for it. And I get that that happens in every administration. But, you know, but to say that you weren't aware of it either means that your staff isn't doing its job of making you aware of it, or that you may have been aware of it, maybe you're not being as forthcoming as you should have been.
Why? I mean, particularly on the IRS thing, that the IG report is going on, they're investigating this. It was well known among several people within the IRS that this has gone on. They had tried to take corrective action, which failed. They got overruled by their own employees, who then, despite a mandate to stop doing it, they continued doing it. And nobody ever brings this up to an executive-level discussion?
This is a president who, by the way, on his way to Baltimore tomorrow for a campaign stop. Maybe he can check the news reports. I'll take the, you know, Jon Stewart approach on this. Do you believe the carrier pigeons that go from the White House chief counsel's office couldn't land on the Oval Office window in almost a month? Megyn, this is not only reprehensible, it's inexcusable behavior, because President Obama is supposed to be the smartest guy in the room, as they will tell you on the left. He's the one that's needed to run the country. But June 2011, Lois Lerner does two things. She issues a retroactive to December 2008 tax-exempt status in 1 month for the Barack H. Obama Foundation. She learns of the report. Doug Shulman, March 22nd, 2012.
IRS
this is
commissioner at the time.
IRS commissioner. And then Steve Miller. And then the White House chief counsel in April of this year. This is ridiculous if you want to believe that the president is so obviously not aware of anything going on. You know what this is like to me when you look at Hillary Clinton, all of this going on in the State Department and President Obama? When you investigate the mob, do you not investigate the mob bosses? Do you not look at everybody involved and see that, or do you ignore one
When it
group?
comes one after the other, it sounds bad, because you've got Eric Holder are like, I recuse myself from the AP thing. I don't know anything
But
about
no
that.
written
Hold on.
record.
President Obama saying, I don't know anything about that IRS thing. I just learned about it on the TV. Same for the AP investigation by the DOJ. Hillary Clinton saying, I didn't know anything about those multiple cables begging for security in Benghazi. And so when you hear it all together, and then Carney be like, I don't know anything about anything either. It makes you think, who is minding the shop?
No, listen,
Who's at the helm?
I'm not going to disagree with you. You know, the Eric Holder situation, first of all, what happened with the AP to me is incredibly reprehensible, and there's no excuse for it. Same goes to the IRS. And so at the end of the day, look, some people, heads need to roll. I don't know how high up this went. You know, does the President of the United States know about everything that goes on? I don't know, but I suspect that somebody, not just the acting head of the IRS who resigned, or not didn't resign.
How about the people who
was
did it?
resigned. Well, the people who did it, you know, yesterday should have been
But
gone.
they're
You know,
not.
a year ago. They should. Well, I don't know why they're still there because, you know, time to go. But should have taken a hike back when this first came to light. But although I think they're civil servants, so I think it's actually really hard to fire them because of our civil service.
That's the GSA.
Right. So exactly right. So, but you know, yeah. At the end of the day, and I'll say this: this is not a partisan issue. The buck does stop with you. You're the guy in charge.
Yeah.
And so
I got to leave it at
Yeah, you
that.
have
Got to
to
leave
do
it at that. Thank you both.